I am so tired of hearing about billionaires. I'm tired of hearing about Jay-Z. I'm tired of hearing about Elon Musk being the richest person. I'm tired of hearing about gender wars, whether black men make more money than black women or black women make more money than black men. I'm tired of diaspora wars. I'm tired of talking about if Juneteenth is only for black Americans. I'm tired of talking about African people hating black people. I'm tired of hearing people tell me that black people aren't even from Africa, that we're all only from America, right? I'm so tired of the online gossip and outrage, the fake outrage at that, because it all just makes rich people richer, bro. And it's sad because people are willing to get scraps off that table. Like if Meta or some big company, Google, Amazon, Apple, if any of them got scraps left, people are willing to engage with the diverse arrangement of controversial commentary, right? There's so many different types of controversial commentary that you can get into that these mega companies benefit from. I think it's called Mangoes now. The acronym for the biggest or the best companies was it Meta, Anthropic, Nvidia, Google, um, whatever one starts with an O. Y'all can let me know in the comments. And then S for SpaceX now, I believe. I don't want to talk about random arguments when there are people running billion-dollar, trillion-dollar companies, and they're still poor people. There's still people who can't make money on a regular basis, right? There's people getting locked up for no reason. And y'all want to talk about people who are already rich on platforms that make them richer. So, like I said, with these big companies, most people just want to be suggested, right? We're going to talk more about the algorithm later. But I'll let you know now, right? Because of what I like to talk about, my politics, what I stand for, who I work for, which we're going to talk more about, I haven't really made significant money on these platforms. I have over 10,000 followers on Instagram. I do not directly monetize from that. I've got thousands of followers or friends on Facebook. I barely make $5 a month from that. YouTube, I've never broken past 1,000 subscribers. And the list goes on, right? TikTok, I got thousands of followers. I don't make any money from there. I make money from the products I create and anytime I create like a digital product. So it's always usually just products. Products and events. I throw a lot of events too to be able to convert the attention I'm getting on social media to real life. But after 11 years, I have not made significant traction or penetration on global platforms, right? So I'm going to talk a lot more about the algorithm and how the algorithm just literally extracts all of our time as creators and artists and what I've done to pretty much make money without depending on them. The algorithm is literally meant to leave you enslaved, bro. Like, and I'm going to speak to a wider audience today because typically I think I just talk about things I want to talk about. But now I've realized like the connections online are so hollow and so diluted that I don't think people even realize how much we could be more connected and impactful with these platforms. I mean, obviously they're all very new, but I lived in an era where the house phone had a cord on it and you had to go outside and enjoy being outside, right? And I also live in an era where social media has given me a bigger voice than any job would ever give me, right? I don't have a degree. I don't have a well-paying job. I am not a politician. I don't have any credentials that make people so-called important or valid or credible. All I have is the people. All I have is the genuine connections that I've ever made with real businesses, with real families, and with real people, right? So when it comes down to social media, I use that tool as if I was imagining, right? I'm not comparing myself because I can already hear y'all in the comments, but I imagine myself like Fred Hampton or Malcolm X. Like, how would they use these tools, right? Getting people in the spaces that they need to be, bringing awareness to some of the wrong things that are going on, right, in the world. So it's like the algorithm does not help with that, right? The algorithm is going to suggest you stuff that you're more likely to search. There are so many researches on this, right? There's so many people who have researched this, where the algorithm literally just wants to keep you on the internet. So right now, if I watch a video about cooking, the next 3 to 5 videos will be another one about cooking. And then if I watch one that's about commentary on some kind of war, then I'm going to get more war content. And that's nice. It's actually not even the worst feature. It's terrible when you don't have any control or awareness of it, right? I just seen a new feature today on YouTube where you can create and suggest your own content. Like you can create your own suggestions. I thought that was pretty cool. But you think the average YouTube consumer knows that? No. I don't even think you can do it on a mobile device. YouTube, if y'all can get that feature on mobile devices where it's blatantly and explicitly noticeable, let's work on that. Or let me know in the comments if it is. I had to get on my desktop, which who watches YouTube on a desktop or a laptop? I don't have a clue. I know I don't. And I barely watch it on the television. All these algorithms are different. It's highly psychological. It's highly invested in. The algorithm you get on your television is not the one you get on your phone. The one you get on your phone is different than your desktop because they study your psychology and they suggest you things based on your mood and your behavior and your searches, right? One thing that I do is I use a lot of AI programs, but the one that I use the most is Gemini, right? And I have my Gemini connected to all of the things in the Google suite, from Google Sheets to Google Mail to Google Forms. Anything Google, it's connected. And that includes my YouTube searches, right? So when I'm talking about algorithms like that, like this at length, what I'm really talking about is your attention being enslaved. You don't really be choosing what you want to watch. It goes off your moods. And then it suggests more things that's pretty much what you've already watched. The most fascinating thing about social media, right, is that it keeps you in a box, right? And people like being in that box to the point where they're not even concerned what other people think, right? I used to do this thing where I would watch Pat Bet Davis, PBD, I think that's his show, and it's pretty much a bunch of conservative rich people who like they'll interview other people who don't share their values if they're rich and notable, but only so that they can pretty much cross promote their platform to their audience. It's pretty strategic and it's not genuine from my understanding, because all they do is blitz anybody who doesn't agree with them on the platform, and they pretty much pedestal anyone who does. So it's pretty much a bunch of rich conservative guys who don't believe that racism is real or that it's a real genuine problem. They don't believe that Donald Trump is a bad person. They don't think that pro-choice is a good decision. They don't think that, you see what I'm saying? Just mad conservative stuff. And I watch that from time to time because I want to get out of the bubble. I want to get out of the box of my algorithm, right? Sometimes I'll watch things that are completely against my point of view simply because I want to refresh my brain and I want to be aware of what other people in other circles are actually talking about, what they think. And in long form content, not just the clips. I repeat, you do not know what other people think just because you watch clips. Clips are not significant enough. So instead of arguing with random strangers and algorithms and people with cats and their avatars and private profiles who don't ever show up to actually make substantial claims or provide any receipts, no. They just want to ruin your day. They just want to argue with you. So instead of doing that, we've created direct community everywhere I go, right? With the events that I've created, those are literally free a lot of the times. Unless I'm collaborating with somebody who won't let it be free, then, or I'm working with a business that actually just has to make money, most of my events are free, right? Most of my products are super affordable. You can go check our website right now. I don't think there's anything over $50, but even my $50 products are collaborations. I'm splitting that 50% with an artist. Shouts out to Neptune 21. And so my products, the hats are the most expensive thing. They're $20 and below. And then, I sometimes do releases of sweatsuits, but only for one season a year. So when fall comes, we premiere them, debut them, whatever that word is, and then from winter time we actually sell them. And so, like, this is part of how, as a creator, you make real money. You got to make products, bro. You got to make products and do shows. That's it. I think Bruno Mars recently sold his catalog. If y'all remember that, he sold his entire catalog for, I think, close to $1 billion. And then now he just went on tour recently, and I think he made $400 million domestically, and he made $1 billion worldwide, right? And he doesn't even own his music anymore. Now, let me know in the comments. I think he actually gets to keep the music he creates beyond the contractual agreement of the albums and the catalog he sold. That's another conversation for another day. But my point is, if you're an artist or a creative, you can't depend on the advertisement dollars on these platforms. You also can't depend on the algorithms, and you certainly cannot depend on rich people. Going back to my initial point in the beginning, rich people do not care about us. They only want to make money from us, and they're not going to sabotage their position as rich people to help us. Jay-Z's not going to help us. Elon Musk is certainly not going to help us, especially if you're not white. So let's throw the fantasies out the door. If we don't help each other, if we don't connect with real businesses, turn those real businesses into places that can be an influence or put some leverage on, the political voices that we have, right? And have them politicians go in and represent our real interests. And if they don't, then we're going to remove the money from them, and then they got to go right back to working on the plantation of politicking, right? Because we don't want no more plantation politicians, bro. I don't want to get the best of the worst. I'm tired of that, right? So if you're on this channel, it's because you want the best of the best. You want a revolutionary voice, and you want to organize spaces that are actually willing to uplift our people and push forward a revolution that is systemic, right? We don't want to dismantle everything, and then grandma can't get her medication, and your mom can't pay her mortgage. Like, we don't want to put our own people in danger, but we also want to stop being complicit, and we want to stop feeding into these things, like what we're attempting to do with the Asian boycott, right? Yes, we obviously can't put Honda out of business, but we can stop willingly participating and going into nail shops and hair stores when we have people who provide those things. So that's what I do. I go into those Black-owned businesses. I amplify them so that you know more about them. And that's what our subscription on our Substack is for, right? I can write about those things for free, give you a nudge in the right direction. But when you pay for the subscription, what that allows me to do is create in a more amplified way. It allows me to invest in better cameras, pay other creators so that we can collaborate and do bigger work that highlights the things that y'all suggest. And it also cuts out a lot of the noise of the people who we know are only here to disrupt and distract. So when you pay that $8, you can speak to me directly in the chat on Substack. And in that way, I know exactly what you want to hear and exactly what you want me to say, so I can craft my work around it and do my research around it as well. So if nothing else, check the description, get into the Substack, subscribe for free, see if you like it. And if you support what I'm talking about and what I'm doing, pay the $8, man. It's 25 cents a day. You know what I'm saying? You already giving it to Netflix. You already giving it to Hulu. You already giving it to Disney. You already giving it to all of them. And you don't even check out none of that. You probably be on YouTube giving them money too, right? Rock with a real one. Still growing. I'll see y'all later, man.